everyone. Welcome back to Lise Loves Paper. I'm Elise and I'm here with a process video for you. This is part of a kit catch-up that I'm currently working on, so you will see this before the kit catch-up goes up. So these papers are from an old Hip kit. I think it's a couple years old, so unfortunately because they are exclusive to Hip kit and old, you probably can't get them anymore. But anyway, so that texty paper I saw and I just knew I had to use it to do a layout for my daughter and her friends because it says things like cool and BFF and stuff like that and LOL, and I loved it and it was so energetic. And you'll see, I think, when I do post the kit catch up, that those two papers, the frame paper and the text paper, that when I saw them I had maybe a bit of an idea, and this was my idea and I went through with it. So here's your sneak peek of how it actually turns out. But anyway, so what I was doing there was using the cut apart paper that came with it, and I'm using several of those to kind of make a mat for my photo. And yes, I do have part of the photo covered up because I do not have permission to show Layla's good friend here. So that's what that is. Now, through the magic of editing there, you saw I cut out a lot of frames quickly off camera. Now what I'm doing is I had the idea to kind of build this like gallery wall to draw your attention to the center here, and I do underlap some of the frames like you see me do right there. And my goal here is I'm trying to kind of lay them out. I don't want the same shapes near each other, so I spread the circles out and out. Some of them are long and skinny, some of them are more square. There I was telling you I needed more, so I cut a few more out and put them in there. Now I cut this out so you don't have to watch me tape all of these down because it did take a while. Now I can tape the photo down. But anyway, back to where laying it out. It was very important to me for them to be kind of random. I didn't want any of them to make like a straight line with one another because that's what draws your attention, and the whole point of a layout is to draw your attention to the photo, not to weird little things like that. So if you do something like this, keep that in mind as you're laying things out. You don't want to kind of trap your attention elsewhere. So you'll see that just did a trick I also do fairly often, where if I have something overhanging and I cut it off, I'll use the offcut on the page as well. And I think that brings a lot of balance, plus I'm not wasting. So as always, I start with the big elements first and then move down to the photo generally and then down to the title. So that's what we're at now. And the reason I'm using Aloha, you can't see it now, but you'll see it later. The girls were at their spring dance, which was luau themed, and her friend has a lei on. And so I thought that would be fun to bring it in with that. I apologize if you hear some little tiny noises or purring. I have a new little, she just tried to knock are you saying hi? She tried to knock the microphone over. I had to stop this because she actually did knock it over again. Anyway, we recently got a new kitten. We have, over the past year, had to say goodbye to 3 of our older pets, and we only had our puppy left. I say puppy, she's 3 now. But we were finally ready to add back to the family, and so we have a new little kitten, and you will see her. Her name is Miso. But anyway, so if you hear anything, it's probably her. But back to the layout, I decided I did not like the title where it was down there, and so I decided to move it up. And I tried this ill-advised using that thicker alignment tool thing. It did not work. I might have, not done it, but that's okay. And I like that I did this because now the Besties is on the top of the photo there and it really stands out a lot better. That's why I didn't like it down there. It was just competing too much. There's a lot of competition going on this layout. You'll see when I start embellishing it. I should have probably left a lot more of the frames blank, but in the end I like how it turned out, and it just kind of fits the fun young feel that we have going on to go with this photo. So anyway, I came back, so I had to do this in several different sittings, which is why you'll see some cuts, and I apologize, but I decided I wanted to add a comma. The editor in me was very bothered by it, saying hi besties without having a comma there after that introductory phrase. And I also didn't make you sit through gluing, but my daughter wanted to say hi and show you her nails, and now they matched mine. She was super excited that I was doing this layout and was sitting across on the other side of my table while I was making it. and chit-chatting with me. Now here I am fussy cutting. This is another way you can use those 3x4 cards. I use them as layering pieces in the back, but I also really like this flower, and so I fussy cut it out. It felt very tropical to me, and so that's what I used it for. Now I'm going through the embellishment pack, and it actually had some really cute, like, on theme bits, like that Besties Scents, which is super cute. And you'll see I'm just kind of auditioning it. And the orange just kind of happened because this collection had a lot of orange in it, and then it ended up being in the mat and in the flowers there. And I will say that when I was doing this, my daughter kind of looked across and she's like, why is it so orange? And I have to agree. You'll see the orange is building. And it's just because those were the embellishments that matched the page and also matched the theme. And I do kind of tone it down a little bit and kind of work it in, but my color scheme ends up being like oranges and pinks with some teal in there. So this piece, you see me bringing the teal from the Besties and the letter stickers in. I know it's long. You'll see I'll cut it later. And I did kind of struggle with embellishing this. My idea had been to put something in every single frame, and I do. And I like it. But like I said, it's busy. It's less busy in person. It's one of those that when you see it, like, the camera kind of flattens it out and makes it look busier than it is. So that's what I pulled from the embellishment kit, which I was pretty impressed with. Usually I don't use that many. Then I pulled these out. They're part of the kit. I tried this wow arrow, but the direction it was pointing just didn't work, so I put it back. I apologize for the lighting changing also, because we have been having a lot of, you know, that kind of weather where it's like storms that roll through and lots of clouds. So you have sun and cloud and sun and cloud, and that's what's happening. So if you see that happen, that's why. So I pulled out my embellishment binder, and if you are interested in those, I just recently put a video out about them, how I reorganized and why, and I love it. I did bring that sticker in on the right side. That was up and down. That box was a little difficult to fill. And while it doesn't look like that purple matches as well, here I am telling you I'm going to outline that later. Anyway, back to the vertical sticker. The purple does match the purple in the photo. It's just hard to tell here. But in the end, I think I do end up removing it because it competed too much with the other purples that were there. Now I'm looking through the multicolored just to see if there's anything in here that would work with this kind of crazy color scheme. And that's a no. And then I decided I need more teal to make it look more intentional. And so I'm going through this as well slowly, because I am looking at everything and kind of looking at the spaces that I have left to fill and what makes the most sense. I have a lot of tappy fingers. I tried this, didn't love the shape of it in that box. Tappy, 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 thinking hard. I decided I didn't want to bring any circles into it. We already have enough shapes going on. And that's when I'm like, well, I have that one floral cluster. Let's bring in some more flowers. When in doubt, repeat things. That's kind of my mantra. I repeated the frames in the background. I'm repeating the colors. I'm trying to make sure the colors are spread all across. And now I have that one floral element, and I figured we need to repeat that. And with the lei, it just made sense. So here I am. I was showing you that I'm in my floral embellishment envelope, I guess you would call it. And I'm looking for any florals that I have that might match this color scheme. And I found that one that's from a more recent collection, I believe. And it would work, but it felt more like, I don't know, citrusy than I wanted. A lot of orange and pink and not really as much teal. It had some like bright yellows and greens that I didn't necessarily want to introduce. Now, those last two that I put on there end up being what really saves me, because you can see how well it's kind of like a corally orange and some pinks, and it has purples and teals, and it was just perfect. So here I am kind of throwing these in here. And again, I want to sprinkle them out. I used it to make sure that I had some purple here, there, and everywhere. Here I'm taking that sticker off, and I'm going to put some floral there eventually. Tucking some behind there, because originally I'd had that orange and it was a blue flower up there, and they were kind of distracting because, again, it was very orange and I didn't really have that blue anywhere else. So I'm glad I replaced those. What am I looking for? Oh, my scissors, so that I could cut that. That had been my plan all along. That's why it's stuck off there. I I pulled that out because I thought maybe the butterfly would work since I already had 2 butterflies, but it ends up, And that one I had pulled out that I just put down in the background with the pineapples because those were truly tropical flowers, but it was such a different style. They were very watercolory that it just didn't work. So yes, here I am filling that box with some vertical florals. Now here I am looking at those 2 florals. The one I picked up, I didn't like it being next to those floral stickers. I wanted to spread them out. And so here I am. I'm rearranging things. It works well. You might be wondering why I've left that one blank one under the photo. That's for my journaling. And I'll do that off camera because I don't want to share any personal details. But here I go, just looking for some little bits and pieces to bring color and flowers in all the remaining spaces. And now it's time to glue everything down. I think that really toned down the orange, and it's not so like heavily orange as it was when my daughter asked earlier. In case you're wondering what I'm doing off camera there, I apologize. I am using a little dot roller to do the adhesive on the tinier pieces instead of my big ATG. It's just easier. So let me know, would you ever try something like this? Would you have added all these embellishments? Or are you a more minimalist? I like to be a minimalist, but I feel like when I try, it just doesn't work and I end up with my maximalist self. And Layla's happy with it, so that's like what's important. And I don't know if you can see it, but that little bottom part, it says Besties since, and then I found a little piece that said like forever, and I was like, that's so perfect. So I love that. Adding a little more orangey coral down there. And now here I am finally outlining it. Look at what a big difference that makes. I love it. Now here I am with my hearts because I knew since I put that orange plaid heart thing on the left side, I had wanted to fill it. I figured it was an opportunity to bring a little more purple in, so I got my hearts envelope so I could find something. And then I was like, no, Elise, put it away. You're done embellishing. There's so much. And I had forgotten to glue these down, so I got them stuck down. And I was like, nope, stop, put it away. You don't need more. Now here I am, one last thing. I was like, there is a lot going on. So when in doubt, I like to try and add an outline, and that seems to help. I think Adele from Inky Quill refers to it as corralling the cattle or something like that. And so I'm just using a micron pen here. That's been my go-to lately. I used to not like them as much, and I don't know why, but it's working well for me here. I think it's a 0.5 that I'm using. Now, after I do this one, I decide that it's not quite enough still, so I did add a 3rd outline all the way around because it really needed to stand out more. But we are almost done. I will show you the close-ups here. Let me know what you think about this one. I know it's a lot, but I end up really liking it, how it turned out. It's just so fun and fresh, and I think it'll fit really well in my daughter's album, and it fits really well with her friends and stuff. So thanks for tuning in. Hope you have a great week. See you soon. Bye.